Yeah, that. What's up? What's up? It's your girls, Michelle and Stacy, with those raindrop combos.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What's going on, girls? Tonight we also have it's our remember Wind Down Wednesdays. So Wind Down Wednesdays, we have our favorite millennial slash Gen Zer with us, Miss Zaire. How you doing, girlfriend?
I'm doing great with this glass of Sutter Home White Zinfandel. I'm doing great.
Hey,
There
are
we
you old
go.
enough for that?
Yes.
That's okay. I have a little bottle of my Sutter Home Pinot Grigio. Back to my fave. What about you, Michelle?
Hey, you know what it is. Let's just, you know what it is. You already know.
Already know. So what's going on? What are we talking about tonight?
Mm.
Ooh, what are we not talking about? Let's start with that. What are we not talking about, right? So I kind of want to talk about Cardi B and Offset. And of course I have to talk about Encore. That's basically how we started this journey
Yes.
on Wednesdays. So I have
Yes.
to talk about Encore. I kind of also want to talk about sexuality and pop culture just a
Okay.
little bit and how that looks on different genders. And then of course we have to talk about um our African American father figure Bill Cosby being released from prison today, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Yes.
well, let's get
This
into
is a
the
heavy day.
combo.
All
Let's
right,
get
let's
into
go.
it.
So we're back, Zaire. What's going on? Let's start.
Okay, you guys, last week on Encore, okay? Last week on Encore, I didn't catch up. Every Wednesday, you guys know that it starts at 10 o'clock on BET. But one
Yes.
thing I have to say is that I feel like they might be getting it together, you guys. They might be getting it together. They recently went into the studio. Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of the women, and by a lot of the women, I mean Lamisha and Irish, those women from 702, don't like the idea of having somebody in charge. And
Mm.
Felicia and Fallon, those are the twins from Cherish. They're very much alpha females when it comes to music.
Yes.
And I love that about them.
Yes.
It may come off as really just like they're rude, but I
Do
love
that.
them now. Like I love them.
Yeah, but they do that. That's their business. That's what they do. So that's why they're saying we're coming in here working like this because this is what we do. We go to writing camps and they did name, some record labels or somebody. But we do this. We sit around for hours writing lyrics. That's what we do. So that's what we came here to do.
Right. And I feel like that's perfect. And you need that. With the twins and definitely Aubrey from Danny Kane, those three together, they are a power force. And I love them together because they were in the studio. All 9 women were in the studio, okay? And they were talking about how they wanted a song with everybody in it. And strangely enough, I'm not, it's just very weird to me. They were in the studio and it came down to writing songs. And all of a sudden, Felicia, she just
Got
got
sick.
she got a little sick. I'm not saying she faked it, but what I will say is maybe she is from an older generation, and I feel like maybe she did have. She's not that old, but I definitely think that it's normal to be intimidated when you're working on a skill that you haven't used in so long. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And I think that that's what happened, and I think that she didn't want to come off as like just inferior. Like I just think that that's what she didn't want. So her best bet was to be like, I'm going to sleep. Like I'm going to sleep. Maybe they'll figure it out tomorrow and they'll have another song. But they did. They came up with this great song without
The
her. And
songs are great. Let
the
me say
songs
this.
are
I was
amazing.
very surprised to hear the songs that they came up with. They actually both sound really good.
They do. Them as a group, you guys, I know I have been a Pam hater in the past. But Pam got it together, baby. Well, we're getting there. But the songs that they had together was amazing. It was amazing until there was this one song. I don't know. The song was great, and then they just happened to say they referenced women as hoes, and Pam was like, "I can't be a part of that song. Like, I don't want to be a part of that song." And they were like, "Why?" And she's like, "I can't be on the song that says hoes." But you guys, the song
Yeah,
was
I
amazing.
was a little, yeah, I heard, yeah, okay. I mean, that's her privilege. I mean, her prerogative. She can do that. I mean, that one little word, even though the song was tight, I mean, she's standing up for something. She's standing up for her values.
I apologize if you guys hear thunder in the background. It's a lot going on outside, but yes, but no,
The one word, just use. I mean, but like I said, she's standing up for her values, and so with her standing up for her values, if she doesn't want to say that, and what she specifically said was, "I'm not calling another woman a hoe." That's what she said,
right.
and so that's her. That's her value system. What do you do about that? You
Right.
stand by your own principles, and that's what she should have done. And so either you guys take this word out because you're younger. I know you don't understand what it means to go against your own value system, but that's a thing. And that's a thing that as you get older, you refuse to do,
Mhm.
more and more. And
Right.
so she understands that this is where I draw the line. These are my boundaries, and I'm not going to cross my boundaries. And I'm not going to allow anyone else to make me or to feel like I have to.
Mhm.
That's an interesting perspective. I like that. I love that. I love that. I really love
You
that.
funny. What
But
else? What else was going on?
oh, I love the fact that Aubrey got crowned queen. She got crowned queen, you guys.
Yeah, she did. I saw that.
I was
She
happy. People
deserved
were
it.
hating. She did. She was doing a lot of stuff that I think was pushing the women in the right direction. Because let's not forget that these women only have 30 days to get it together. 30 days to get it together. So with a little like lackadaisical attitude from Irish and Lamisha, I think we need to push something. But also let's talk about Nivea. Cause
I
that
love Nivea. She is a ray of sunshine. She just kind of, I think she's been through so much where she understands, and she's old enough to understand, like, y'all are tripping. Like, everything that had to be so serious, like, people are who they are. It is what it is. Let's just do what we're supposed to do. That's what I get from her.
I just think she thinks, and she said it. She was like, "I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit back and laugh," which is what she does all the time.
That's exactly what she did. And I don't blame her because she's in a circus and it is hilarious to watch. It is great TV. So again, shout out to Carlos A. King. So what can we expect coming up on the show for tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't watch Encore on BT. I watch it. I stream it from other networks, so I don't know. They don't tell me what's going on next week.
Okay.
But
So
I would imagine that there's probably going to be some drama because when we left off on last week's episode, the twins were arguing with Lamisha, because Lamisha feels like the twins are always bullying her, and I don't think it's so much as bullying as it was in the beginning. I definitely think that you have to pull your weight. Um, like you haven't been singing for a long time, you haven't been in a girl group for a long time, so a lot of the work ethic or anything that you've done, you haven't used it, which is basically what Fallon and Felicia were saying. Like when you work in the studio, you are in the studio all nights. Even when it comes to putting out a project, you have to make sure everything's perfect and everything. So for you to just not use that perfect opportunity to have two music engineers because you got performance anxiety, I think that's selfish, and I don't think that's being a team player. But you know,
Well, I mean, she's there. She's there in the house just like everybody else. I understand what you're saying. Yes, it is performance anxiety. She has to get over that. She should have gotten over that part to coming into the house, knowing what was ahead of her, at least have been working on it so that we wouldn't be in the studio getting, and I'm with air quotes sick because it's time for us to actually do the work. So
Mhm.
we'll see what happens.
we
Well, we're looking
shall.
forward to it.
We'll be looking forward to it
Forward to it.
tonight. Actually, tonight, 1 minute, 10 o'clock, Wednesday, it's 10 o'clock. The Encore on BET. What's next, little sis?
Well, speaking of BET, let's talk about how the BET Awards were this past Sunday. And there was a surprising announcement from Cardi B. And she's having
Yes.
a baby.
She is. She and her husband Offset. Yes.
Yes. Who is
Culture will have a sibling.
Yes, 1/3 member of the Migos, Offset and Cardi B are having a baby. They've been married, you guys, since September 2017. This will be their second child together, and I believe this would be his sixth kid.
Did I say what now?
Yeah, I think it would be his sixth kid. I think sixth or fifth.
Okay.
But here's my thing: I'm happy for them, and I love. I'm just a little tad bit confused because if memory serves me correct, Cardi B actually filed for divorce in 2020 from
I wondered about that.
Yeah.
But then as a grown woman, I understand too. I think any grown woman who has been married understands that. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like that's something that you gotta really walk the walk. To understand and to really see, okay, yeah, you can file. You can file. You may change your mind.
Right.
He may have cleaned it up. She gave him room too. She forgave him. It is what it is. But go ahead.
Clearly, he cleaned it up with another baby. But yes.
Hey, ooh, palm tree.
All right.
Clearly, he cleared it up. Also, the two of them were having infidelity issues. It was said that Offset was maybe possibly cheating on her, but no shade. I hope that they work it out, and I wish them nothing but happiness with their new pregnancy, which makes sense as to why she was gone from social media for a very long time.
Yeah.
We missed you, girl.
I know. I mean, you just gotta love Cardi B.
Yes.
Because the main reason why I like Cardi B is because she doesn't give a darn what anybody thinks. She walks in her truth, as far as I've seen, from her Loving Hip Hop days to now. She's walked in her truth, and you can like it or you can take it or leave it. And that's and that seems like that's genuinely her, but she seems to have a genuine carefree, just fun loving spirit, where she genuinely wants to see good stuff, happen. And so, I mean, kudos to her. I like Cardi.
I love Cardi because she's from the Bronx, not from New York. So I love her automatically. But also a lot of other things also happened at the BET Awards, and I want to kind of touch upon Lil Nas X and his performance, which I didn't see, but everything Lil Nas X does, I'm a stan for. But there was a lot of controversy because during his performance at the BET Awards, I guess he kissed a man and everybody went bananas. Everybody just went bananas because they don't really support Black men and being homosexual, or Black men even being sexually fluid. But I also want to talk about that because Young Miami and Carisha the same night were seen tonguing each other down. Okay, and nobody thought anything of it. Even
who didn't think anything of it, because people did have things to say about it.
Yeah, and just to kind of track back just a minute on the Nas X thing, Stacey and I did a podcast on that. What was it, yesterday or?
It was yesterday, yes.
Yeah, so our issue wasn't the fact that he kissed a dude. It was the over-sexualization of, if I was watching it was the over-sexualization. If I was watching the BET Awards with my kids, I would have been telling them to, cover their eyes. So we don't care what anyone's doing. It's like, why is it on now invading every space? Because though, we used to watch Grammys and we used to watch the awards. That was a family thing that we
Soul
used to
Train
do.
Awards, yes.
Yeah, all that. It was fun. It was like, oh, I can't wait to see. And now, so we don't care about what he's doing. It's how they're over sexualizing these shows now. So I just wanted to jump in with that.
I get that. I totally get that. But I don't know, from my standpoint, I don't know. I feel like now, being a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, it's being widely accepted. Due to us, millennials, no big deal. They are definitely being more widely accepted when it comes to being fluid with your sexuality, and maybe that's why my brain is the way that it is. But the thing is, there's
why
a
is it
lot
on Front Street.
Yeah, that's
what our brain is. Our brains
I think they've been fluid. You know what I mean? Right. It's just now they've been fluid because
it's just trendy to talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. Go back to San Francisco, 1960, 1970. It's been fluid. They have had drag queens. And everybody's been doing their own thing. There have been, people have been fluid.
People, transsexuals,
forever. So it's not that it's when you say widely accepted, I hear what you're saying. But the thing is, I mean, what's the protection for our kids? It's like almost, I don't know. I'm not feeling it being on award shows like that. That's right. All I'm saying.
And let's make the clarification that it's not just Lil Nas X, because I think yesterday I was just calling him Lil Nas, but it's not just Lil Nas X, kissing another man, like, or as we talked about yesterday, Madonna, and Britney Spears, that kiss back in, who knows, the 90s or early 2000s. It's not about the fact that it's same gender. It's just about the fact that why do we have to even have this sexual component on awards? Like, if this is about the music, then keep it about the music. Right. Why do we have to keep going for these gimmicks to make people watch and that, these sound bites or, little quick tidbits that people can, gnaw on? Like, it's just, why can't it just be about the talent and about the music or about whatever art it's about? Why does it have to be about all of this extra stuff? And why does it have to be about sex? Because we still have kids that we have a responsibility to, and they like this music. So yes, they're interested in watching these award shows. We were able to, so why should we have to stop them? Now we have to think like, okay, we don't know what the hell they're going to do this time. So you know what? Let me watch it first. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. And let me filter it out because BET is not taking the responsibility to say, hey, let's not push the envelope because we have kids and families that are going to be watching our show. So you're excluding, people while you're including people. It's like, okay, so by including, so like I said, Zaire, I totally hear what you're saying about the acceptance, but like I said, man, it's been accepted. I mean, we had transgender people in my high school. Everybody knew who was doing what, but that was their business. But now, like I said, it's now the inclusion is now creating exclusion. And I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Let my child, when it's their time to understand what that's about, give them their time to be kids, man. That's all I'm saying. Give them their chance to be a child without seeing all this. It's basically, porno. I don't it's
soft
like it.
Porn.
But it is. It really, because the thing is, like I said, he was all in his like Egyptian garb, and it seemed like it was going to be a pretty good performance. And then that, it's like, then let's really turn it up with this last little, So it's like, we got to make sure the LGBTQ community know that we accept them and that we're including them. Okay, but now you've excluded a lot of families that were like, wait, I don't want my kid to see all that. So, nah. And it would have been the same if it was some dude and his girl tonguing each other down on the stage. Same thing. Heterosexual, homosexual, it would have been the same thing.
Facts.
I feel like it would have gotten a different type of response. I feel like a lot of people just aren't accepting of Lil Nas X being gay. Because, like, it's okay. So, like, Adam Lambert, you guys know, the American Idol winner. he was discussing it, and it was a big thing on Twitter when somebody was like, let's not let what happened to Adam Lambert in 2009 happen to Lil Nas X again in 2021.
And what happened to Adam Lambert? Because now that I don't know.
Right.
He was at an award show, and I believe he kissed a man. And when that happened, he was supposed to perform or make an appearance at Good Morning America the next day. And the very next, that morning when he got there, they were like, no, like he can't be on. Like,
did he kiss the dude? Did he kiss the dude in a performance at the award show?
Yeah.
But still.
And he was talking about it, and he was like, I don't understand why this is happening to me. And he literally brought up, he was like, I don't understand why this is happening to me, because he brought up the whole Britney kissing Madonna and Britney kissing, Madonna kissing Christina Aguilera. And they showed that on TV. But when it cut to him, they blurred his face out. They literally blurred his face out and showed Christina and Britney and Madonna, and it was just like, that's weird.
So there's a gender disparity in how homosexuality is portrayed or accepted in pop culture. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And that's not our. Yeah, that's definitely not my fight. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, no, not being funny, but I'm saying that's not my fight, because what I'm saying is stop showing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. As a parent who is, trying to already cope with my kids having access to all this information, all this knowledge with technology, and, always in connected to everybody, I'm worried about that. And so I don't want all of this. I don't want them to have and see all of this stuff, because it's starting to kind of, or not starting, but for a lot of kids, like, it's influencing the way they think things should go. I want them to figure it out. I don't want anybody except for mine and their dads, and their families, our family values. I don't want anybody else's values to be thwarted upon my kids.
Right. So I was just as offended by the Madonna thing because Madonna did some really wild and crazy stuff. She had a few of her concerts shut down. So I hear what you're saying about the gender disparities, but she was doing some really wild stuff in her concerts. And there were times they had to go in and shut her shows down. So, at the end of the day, what we're saying is, why can't that still be a part of your personal life, your bedroom? So it's like, I want to be accepted. I got to, if I can go out here and kiss my man in public, then that means no. It doesn't make you more acceptable. That's not why.
And that's kind of discrimination too. That's discrimination too, because I wouldn't get no money or no clout for kissing my husband.
Exactly.
So why they getting clout for kissing each other?
Even my kids get disgusted. When I kissed my husband, my kids would be disgusted by that. Ew, mommy. So I can only imagine what it would be like for them to see, two women kissing or two men kissing. It's the fact that there are just certain things that should be relegated to, your personal life, your bedroom. So I'm tired of, honestly, like I said, I'm kind of, a little frustrated with the whole, I'm out and I'm proud. That's fine. Be you. But still, who you sleep with is nobody's business.
Facts.
So you don't receive, they didn't let him on the show the next day. That was wrong if that was the reason.
I think so too.
But still, it's on the producers to decide, hey, all of this is out. You know what I mean? All of this is out. So I'm saying I'm going to fight against it for as long as I can, because I don't want to see nobody kissing nobody, tonguing them down in a real passionate way. That used to be on pornos back in the day. Now it's on Front Street. It's on your TV. It's on regular television. There is no censorship for any of that right now. So nobody's holding Lil Nas X down when he came out with "I Want to Take My Girl to the Road." Them kids love that song. They love that first song. But I heard a commentary to say that they don't know that he really wanted to be out there like that. It's like there's an agenda that's kind of being pushed to say they don't really think Nas X, if it wasn't for people pumping him up to do that, or to say, hey man, you really gonna, you really gonna explode if you get out there and do all that. That it's a propaganda. And so we got to understand the difference between people having rights and freedom Hell, we Black folks that still don't have certain freedoms, and now we, already talking about pushing another agenda. Man, come on, dude. Miss me with that, for real. Miss me.
But go ahead, Gen Zer. I mean, millennial.
Right.
I just think that
this is a mashup. That's what a mashup is about.
Baby. That's what I'm saying.
Right. We're going to have, and that is our purpose. Our purpose is to be able to talk about these things, to put these things on the table, view them from different generational perspectives, and see how we can come to the middle and how we can, actually meet one another.
So you guys understand, how we think and why we think the way we do.
And we want to get that same thing from you guys.
Right. So, I mean, do you understand, at least I hear what I'm saying? I'm speaking for myself. Do you kind of understand as moms and where we're coming from with this whole angle? Like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. All this stuff been going on, but now it's like all over the place. It's all exposed to where I just think there's certain age groups that don't need to see this right now. That's all we're saying, or I'm saying anyway. I'm speaking for me.
So tell us, okay, so finish. I want to hear from your perspective. I want you to finish. I want you to complete your thoughts. Right. From your perspective, what are you saying?
I definitely think that now that it's being accepted to be sexually fluid, that it's not trying to push an agenda, but I definitely think that they want it to be more accepted on media platforms, only because if I don't know how to say it, but I just feel like certain things are accepted more when it's a heterosexual, rather it being, for example, Prince. We all knew Prince was, and I don't know what Prince was. I don't know.
But he was heterosexual.
Okay.
And was he? Was he?
I mean, as far as we know, everything that I hear says he was heterosexual. Like everything,
and the thing
even from celebrities have said that.
Right, and the thing is, if he wasn't, guess what? We didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
bottom line. So
I think we talked about that, Shell. How forever we didn't know Luther Vandross was gay.
Nobody knew.
Nobody.
Thank you.
Nobody knew that except for people in Hollywood.
He sung love songs for 40 years. So
for women.
And that's what I'm saying. And
every woman in the world loved him. Like my mama loved Luther Vandross. He was not all her friends loved him.
Thank you. And I honestly don't think he was out there really trying. If he was doing something, like you said, there was a certain small circle that knew. And if he wanted to come out, he could have done that. There was nothing against it back in the 80s. Same way, I think that there's nothing. People do what they want to do. So, like I said, this whole gender fluidity and pansexual and all this transsexual stuff. I mean, now we got the bathrooms. They are accommodating it. They have made gay marriage legal. It's like, how much more? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much more.
I understand marriage is hard, so.
No matter who you
want to get married, go right ahead.
I know plenty of lesbians that's struggling in their relationships right now. Ain't nothing. So stop talking about it's not accepted and we're not. I mean, come on, dude. Folks been gay and transsexual since the beginning of time. So
I understand the plight. Like
right.
I understand the plight of
when the AIDS epidemic hit. When the AIDS epidemic hit, gay men really, there was a stigma on being gay back then because they didn't know what was going on. These people were out here dying from a virus that they, had associated with them.
Yeah.
So it was a tough time, but not to mention all the women that actually caught it, and then the blood transfusions and kids that were dying from it.
Yeah.
So you're talking about almost like a pandemic that people were very confused about. But like I said, baby, it's a lot of in the closet, out the closet, down low, all this. You got a choice, you know what I mean? So if you got a problem with being who you are, that's not the public saying you can't. Hell, you can walk around and damn near do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Girl, when we went to Daytona Beach, remember all them transvestites with booty shorts, and they didn't care. No. So you talk about out in public, baby, they've been out there. So if somebody is saying I can't be me, I don't know why the hell you can't. Everybody else doing it. All we saying is I
just think that as a society, what we need to do, what everybody needs to do, not like individually, we need to stop worrying or caring about what other people think about us. Like, you
Thank
have
you.
to value yourself so much until when somebody says something about you or thinks negatively about you, whatever, it
Right.
doesn't even penetrate your spirit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Right.
so if you can value yourself, then as we talked about earlier when we talked about Pam, there are certain things that you're just not going to allow. Like,
Right.
there's certain things that you're not even going to allow yourself to be, or positions you're not even
Right.
going to allow yourself to be put in
Right.
by anyone else. And
Exactly.
if you don't value yourself, it's like the old saying goes, that old adage, like, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing. Like, nobody's standing up for themselves, like, or
Right.
their own worth. Who gives a
Yeah.
dang? And we talked
What?
about that last
Right.
time on social. I think you said something about social media, how it's all about an image. Who gives a
Right.
damn about how people that you don't know portray you or what their
Exactly.
image is of you? Who cares?
Right. Quit being so butthurt and offended because somebody doesn't accept your lifestyle. I mean, there are polygamous, communities where men have multiple wives. People don't like that. So what? So once they start coming on TV and they've got 3 wives up there, and I mean, so somebody's
I
always
actually
gonna have.
love Big Love. That
That
show
was
was
a
really
good.
good
I
on
used to
HBO.
love that show. Thank you.
I love
It was
HBO.
it was
I love
very
Big Love.
interesting.
I did.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Look it up. Look it up. Big Love. That was very interesting. So, like I said, man, the thing is, everybody's looking for acceptance from who? If
Right,
you
right.
accept who you are, then be that. Who says that you have to get on the big stage just for everybody to say, I love you and I accept you? I mean, it's getting to the point where, I mean, if you say anything derogatory about I mean, they've been talking about us, talking about Black people like a dog forever. Who's standing up fighting for how we're being presented out here? So, like I said, I get it, but it seems like a lot of these issues are taking a forefront above things that I think honestly are more important. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody. Like I said, I have LGBTQ people in my own family, so I don't
Right.
want to disparage them in any kind of way. But I don't know that. I talk to them all the time. Like I said, I don't hear them saying that they feel like they're not included and all of that. I mean, man, come on, man. I mean, for real. Let's get to some. We got some real issues going on here in America. Like I said, I don't care if Meg Thee Stallion and Miami and whoever the hell kiss each other, but that's y'all thing. But to me, it's like clout. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna be trending on Twitter after we do this tonight. Who's
Right.
trending?
The cloud
Who's
thing is
trending?
the
That's what I'm
yeah, that
saying. Who's
so
trending?
how much of this do you think is clout chasing and how much of it do you think is just authentic? I want to be me, or I'm being me, because you
Okay, well
don't
then
try to be you.
why
Well,
we
no,
ain't
no,
saying that you gay?
I'm
Oh,
asking
okay.
the
I'm
Gen
sorry.
Zer. I'm asking
Go
the
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh
because
no, I'm
I
kind
want
of
to
turned up.
know.
I'm kind of
Because
turned up on this topic.
because
I'm gonna be
there
quiet. I'm gonna be
no, no,
quiet.
no. I don't want you to be quiet, because this is a
Mhm.
conversation that needs to be had. And the
Right.
thing is, you have a Gen Zer in your house. I have two Gen Z. Well, you actually
Right.
have three Gen Zers. I have two Gen Zers.
Exactly.
So they see things totally different. So
Right.
yes, I do want to know from the Gen Z perspective,
Yeah.
from the older side of the spectrum,
Right.
Zaire, you represent that older side of the spectrum, almost millennial, but
Mhm.
I do want to know how you guys see things, because I know that my kids, they don't really know, like, Michelle, how when we were younger, like, we didn't just go down the street and see a man dressed as a woman. We didn't see
Right.
it. It
Exactly.
was it was something that if you saw it, you were like, wait a minute, hold on,
Right.
and it's just that's just how we're programmed, and
Right.
we're better than our predecessors. Please
Right.
understand. Like, I remember hearing some ugly terms, from our
Right.
predecessors. Not that they
Right.
meant any harm, because they didn't. It was just how they referred to certain groups of people. And so
Right.
we know better than to do that, but it doesn't mean that it's not like a head turner at times. Like, wait a minute.
Still,
But
even now, that's what I'm saying.
right,
Right.
but our
Yeah.
kids, they don't. I remember going down the street and driving down the street with my daughter, and I was like, is that a man dressed as a woman?
Right.
Very innocently, like, not even no judgment, but just, again, my generation, that's just not something necessarily used to just every day. And she was like, and she really was just kind of like, and I felt stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt some kind of way that it was big enough for me to mention it. And this child is like, okay, what's your point? You know what I'm saying? So that's how we see it differently. But go ahead.
I just think I think it's funny that you said that about Trinity, because I would have said the same thing. I would have been like, and what about it? And we're more accepting. You're talking about a group of young adults that when you go to college, you have to have a inclusion and diversity office. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have that.
We should have had it.
Right.
And it doesn't mean we didn't face the same things, but go ahead.
True. You're talking about a group of individuals that when you go to work or fill out job applications, they have unidentified gender preferences. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to pick one, because sometimes I wake up, sometimes I don't feel like my assigned sex. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Why are those things still on applications? Take that shit off. If it doesn't matter and we're really talking about equality, then your race, your gender, none of that shit should be on there. Because if it doesn't matter and it's really fair, I get your demographics. Hey, how about this? How about you report it after you hire the person?
Damn right. Thank you. And that's where I'm at with it. Because the thing is, it's like, like you said, the diversity and inclusion, that includes not just sexuality. It should be everything. I mean, hell, we've been fighting for diversity and inclusion since we got here. You know what I mean? Since they freed us, and we've been trying to matriculate and be able to do what people, man, let me tell you something. Black people are still fighting to try to get the best home loans, try to get into certain neighborhoods where they're still excluding us. So the thing is, like I said, I just don't want one conversation to dominate another. I don't want them to say, oh, now we're about, gender fluidity and inclusion. And I get that. But what about the inclusion?
We're still going to discriminate against the Black people.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because it's still certain neighborhoods that it's hard to get into. So, like I said, let's just not make this such a focal point. And the thing is, it's a trending thing. And why isn't our inclusion and what we need out of society not trending and not as important? You know what I'm saying? So, and then, like I said, man, when I see it, I see Black people doing this stuff, all this gender fluidity. What's your boy from who did Precious and all that? What's the director dude? What's his name?
Lee Daniels.
So, he was trending for coming out announcing that he has AIDS and, or HIV.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Girl, yeah, look it up. So, that's trending.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And so, I mean, the dude is very talented. And so that's a trending thing. And so he's broken barriers out there and all that stuff. But all people can focus on is his sexuality. I mean, he's still a Black man. You know what I mean?
With all these hit shows and all that, why are we focusing on sexuality?
Exactly.
And and let me go back to when Zaire, you said something about Adam Lambert and not getting a job in Hollywood or the industry. I'm trying to understand that dichotomy, because how can an industry that is literally in the throes of promoting over sexuality or or promoting sexuality and promoting this fluidity or lifestyle, we can say, how can they then, the same industry that's doing that, how can you on the other side of the coin discriminate against someone who is being free and coming out of the closet or out of the closet and saying who they are and being okay with who they are? How does that same industry discriminate against that person? How does that work?
I think it has to do with him being an African-American man and him being comfortable with sexuality. I think that's what it is.
Girl, wait a minute. Adam Lambert is Black.
Oh, wait. I thought we were talking about Lil Nas X.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
I didn't know we switched. I didn't know.
Lambert was Black. White. I thought, okay. Yeah, no. Okay, go ahead.
or just being a man in general. I definitely think that when women come out or women are expressing their love for the same sex, they definitely get a different reaction from the public.
I think because maybe it's permanent for men. What do you think? Like when I say that, and I'm asking, this is a question.
Permanent.
Well, I'm saying because it's hard. Like women are known for. I'm not saying that that's what all women do, but women are known for experimenting, and
Right.
a woman can be gay today, and then
right.
if you hear, a month later that she's marrying a man, you won't bat an eye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you give her that leniency or that, leeway to do that. But once a man come out and say he's gay, baby, in our from a Generation X perspective, he's gay.
Like, what about your dude? What about your dude down there in Florida? That dude that was running for governor that was found in that hotel, that married to a black woman, dude.
A white woman. Oh yeah, black woman. You're right.
Right. And so he came out, and said he's bisexual, and now it's all this rallying behind him because he, is going to make another run for governor. And so it's like nobody even addressed the fact that, dude, you were found in a hotel with methamphetamine.
Andrew Gillum.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, man. That's what.
But here's the thing, though, Shell. What we don't understand, and that's why I really understand. We see it totally different than this young generation. Yeah. Whatever that noise is, somebody please stop.
I'm sorry, that's my squeaky office chair.
Okay. Yes. So we see it totally differently because I was talking to a Gen Zer. I won't say who it was, but I was talking to a Gen Zer, and I'm like, they were telling me or trying to explain to me like, oh, well, they're just they're fluid, they're bisexual or whatever. And I'm like, well, no, I don't think that it's okay for you to marry someone who likes you and somebody else in the same I just kind of figured that you need to pick a side.
That's what I'm saying. And be committed. And
I know that other people that I know, I'm so sorry for, the bisexual people. I get it. Like, you're going to hate me. I know, but I'm just saying it's just not fair. Pick a side.
And all I'm saying is whatever you do, just
or at least be honest.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you're in a relationship, then be in that relationship and be committed, whatever the case may be. Don't use the fact that you're gender fluid to give you the time or the option to be promiscuous. That's what my concern is. Let's not promote promiscuity with the fact that I can be, whatever I feel like when I wake up. There's still some dangers involved in, any type of even a woman being promiscuous with multiple men. There's danger involved in that. So that's my concern. When my kids, they are very accepting of all this gender fluidity. And it's going to take me some time to kind of really understand and accept it because I'm not in that generation. But what I want them to know is that just please know when you make a commitment, it still is a commitment to one person so that you're not out hurting someone because you think that fluidity means being with anyone, anytime, however you want to.
I'm going to say two things and then I'm going to move on to Bill Cosby. One, I definitely think that it's unfair to piggyback off of what you said, Stacey, to tell somebody to pick a side. Let's not get it confused that just because a person is attracted to two people that gives them the leeway to be involved with two people. I definitely think that a lot of people that are attracted to both sexes are able to be in monogamous relationships. I do not think that gives the person and I feel like a lot of people think that way too. Like just because they're attracted to both sexes doesn't mean that they're or whatever sex.
They don't know how to be monogamous.
They don't know how to be monogamous. So when you say, oh, I'm married to a man, but I'm also bisexual.
Kind of like we did Keely last week, or I did Keely last week. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And those two can exist. They can definitely coexist. She's not saying, me and my man are just having women in the room every night. No, what she's saying is she's attracted to both sexes. She's not saying she's acting on it. She's saying that the sex that she fell in love with, the sex that made her tie her or hang her jersey up is the one that she's married to. And that's what she's saying. I don't know what she's did prior to her being married. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think that that's okay. And two,
But once you're married, though, isn't it forever? Shouldn't it be forever? I'm just saying that's the hope, right?
Right.
So
But
once you're married to someone and you choose a gender that you're married to, then to me, once you're married, you are no longer bisexual. You are whatever the hell it is you are with the gender that you chose to marry and take those vows with. I'm just saying, until that changes, unless you get a divorce or something, that's all I'm saying. But go ahead.
Right.
I'm going to push mute.
So my best friend, I've known her since I was 6 years old. And she's always just been my best friend. Like I'm talking, I call her dad. She calls my mom. She took an oath as a cop. Is she no longer my best friend? Because she decided to protect and serve the society in which she's working for. Like I don't, that's it. You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I don't. I'm being honest. I'm trying to see how the oath ties into it.
The analogy, right.
Because you're saying that just because whoever gets married to whoever, that they're not the same person that they were. And I definitely think that you can still, sexuality is not something that you could turn off. And I think that's
you have to. I mean, now that's crazy. Here's the thing: you do have to turn off your sexuality. Okay. Maybe you haven't gotten to that phase of life yet, but please understand. Go ahead.
Real quick, Eric, because I'm telling you, and we do need to get onto the Bill Cosby thing. But so, like you're saying, Stacey, and I think if I understand what you're saying, Stacey, you're saying that if you marry a man, and if there became a mandatory requirement that on an application you had to say whether you're heterosexual, even if you consider yourself bi, if you're married to a man, then at that time you are heterosexual.
Bingo.
You can't put bi on an application.
You can't be because you're married.
Okay. Right. All right. That's it. I'm muting.
Okay. I'm muting. We're both muting. Go ahead, Zach.
I just don't think that when you get married that you are allowed or you're expected to turn off your sexuality. I definitely think that you're able to be bisexual and married to the opposite sex. I definitely believe that. I'm not saying that you have to act upon it. But I definitely think that the two could definitely coexist because you still have eyes.
Maybe I see. Okay, so that's like I'm married. We're married. So that's like, okay, when I look at Power and I'm like, oh my God, Ghost could get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same thing, right? Is that what we're saying, basically? I mean, even though he can't really get it, you know what I'm saying? But
so you can still be attracted to...
I can still be attracted. Right, exactly. Okay. And like, if the situation was right, he could get it if I wasn't married. But I'm just saying, like, is that what you're saying? Like, okay, you're still attracted to other people or whoever you're attracted to, whether it's a man or a woman, it's still an attraction there, regardless of whether there is a marriage in place or not. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because there are a lot of married people that say that all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure at one point in time, you or Michelle had a crush on Idris Elba. But you guys are married women.
No, I never had a crush on Idris Elba, but I did have a crush on Ghost. So that was like my real life crush.
I had fantasies about being with Ghost. And
yes.
So,
oh my God.
I mean, I really like dreamed about being in the bed with him. So no,
like, Omar Hardwick is that dude. Now, I in person, I think I heard he's short. I think I heard he's like,
which really would be kind of a turnoff because he looks like a giant on TV.
He does.
Like a lot of them do.
Yeah.
And they said a lot of men that we think are taller than, they're not really as tall as we think they are. The average man is really somewhere in like the 5'11", 5, you know.
That's not tall. I mean,
for me, yeah, because I'm like 5'5", so that would be good for me. But yeah, just to go ahead and wrap this up.
You tall to me, so
right, exactly. So he'd be perfect. But yeah, just like I said, I just want to close my little end of it out so we can get to Cosby.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
Just to say that, the thing is, as long as you're being honest in your relationship, because the thing is, I mean, yeah, when you get with a man, and you say, hey, you know what, I'm bisexual, then, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're making a commitment to him. And so just as long as you're honest and whatever you guys have going on in your bedroom, that's your business. But at the end of the day, you are committed to, the opposite sex. And at that point, you are, considered heterosexual in the eyes of the public. Nobody's saying that anybody can't do whatever the hell they want to do out here. I mean, do you, boo? Do you? But like I said,
don't do you to the point of Andrew Gillum, where I'm thinking we married and we're in, we have a family, and then I find out on the media that you are in the media that you are, butt ass naked, throwing up on yourself or swimming in your own throw up, and with a male prostitute, and
now everybody's praising him for coming out as a bisexual man.
That's crazy.
Not really negating the fact that look at what he did to his woman.
That's gonna destroy the family. Excuse my language.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Look at what he did to his family. That's all we saying. It's like, hell, ain't nobody saying you can't be. Like I said, man, people been doing this. This is nothing new under the sun. So quit pretending like, oh, this gender fluidity has not always been there. People knew about folks in their family and all of that. If you want to go to damn, the drag clubs and dress like a woman, hell, I done been to a drag club and saw the shows and stuff. This is not anything that we haven't known existed. So I don't know why everybody's freaking out.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you, as you just said that, Shell, I just thought, I got to get stuff out before I forget. But I just thought, is it about society accepting you, or is it about you accepting yourself?
Thank you, and being happy with who the hell you are. Thank you.
Let's talk about Andrew Gillum, not talk about him, but let's use him as an example. If you were happy with who you were, you would have never gotten into this marriage that you weren't committed to. That you wanted this lifestyle. You wanted to be with men or, whatever.
Right.
Why did you commit to this lifestyle? For an image? You did it for an image because you felt like this marriage, this, wholesome image would get you where you wanted to go, because you don't accept who you are for real.
Thank you. Because politically, that's what I'm saying. You were trying to do it for political gain. Because if you go out to San Francisco, there are plenty of gay congressmen, and so quit miss me with the stuff.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So quit miss me with this. It's not acceptance of it. People have accepted it, and they're like, "Do you just be honest about who you are and don't hurt anyone in the process?"
Facts.
That's it. Don't hurt nobody with what you talking about doing. I don't give a damn what you call yourself. You know what I'm saying? Bisexual, transsexual, pansexual, animal sexual. I don't give a damn. But do not hurt. That's just how crazy stuff getting out here. Because now we're talking about kids and men and people talking about they're attracted to kids and stuff. So all we're saying is that.
Lord.
Yeah, girl, they talking, trying to make that, where these people saying they are attracted to,
that's a whole
children.
Nother episode of Oprah.
Like, we're not even gonna go there.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Is that
where we going next?
Yeah, let's go to Bill Cosby, because we'll be on this all for another. All right.
It's like y'all old heifers.
Girl, because we done been there. We know, girl. We been there. We know it. We know what's up out there. This stuff been going on. This ain't nothing new. Lil Nas X is not anything new. He is not anything new. That everybody, they've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Been wearing dresses, been kissing men and all that stuff. Come on, man. All right, so
we grew up with Elan Harris and those people that were telling us, like, what was that movie? One of the movies that was telling us how to see it, like the down low guy. He was married, and then the like blowing my eye thing. I forgot the movie, but we grew up in that.
This is not a shock. None of this really. Lil Nas X is not a shock to me. What's shocking is that now it's in what used to be what was considered family programming. And I don't care, even if you're a gay couple raising a kid, would you want them to let them have a chance to choose what they want to be? You know what I'm saying? So I'm advocating for not only, regular heterosexual couples, gay couples too. I think there still has to be a level of, anyway, let's move on. I'm done. I keep saying I'm done.
This is why I love Wind Down Wednesdays, because we can just talk the way we want to talk. It is what it is.
Right. Well, let's
follow with us. Come journey with us, because our conversations are a journey. You know what I mean? It's not a regular conversation. It's a journey through life. It's a journey through time and experiences.
Right.
Where are we going next, people?
we are going to talk about Bill Cosby, or as
released.
Yes, he was released, or as some people know him as Daddy Heathcliff Huxtable. Daddy Heathcliff.
That's my Love Jones.
Okay. Right. So, you guys, Bill Cosby was released after serving his 2 years out of his 3 to 10 year sentence for molesting and drugging ex-basketball player Andrea Constand. Okay. So he was released, and a lot of people, I think it's funny because a lot of people, and I can only talk about the people in my community, African-American community, love you, the Pan-African diaspora, whatever. I love you all. But this is the thing, people. When it comes to sexual assault victims, why do we never want to put the blame on the suspect? I just think that we need to stop letting Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable cloud our judgment for Bill Cosby's well, I'm not even going to say it's a mistake because he did it more than once, but his violation of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a black man who used his power, who used his notoriety to get trust from these women in whatever instance that they were, and use that to his advantage to drug them and take advantage of them sexually. And I've never been one to think that he was innocent, because I just don't think that. I'm never going to be, I'm a woman. I'm definitely a womanist. And I think that women, especially a lot of women that came out, are
What is a womanist? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, so a feminist, I'm just, a feminist, I feel like, was very much for white women. And it was like, once white women got what they wanted from whoever they wanted it from, it was just like, yeah, we got it. So the rest of you women, Latinas, Asians, y'all gonna figure it out for yourself. I'm a womanist because I definitely believe that any woman, age, race, whatever, deserves to be treated as a human being and deserves equity and equality. So that's a womanist. And I'm definitely a womanist, and I definitely believe that a woman would not, some women do, but the amount of women that came out against this man, this
50.
father figure, right? Like, some women that don't even know each other would come up with these very weird allegations. And also, let's just talk about the fact that he admitted to giving these women quaaludes. And my thing is, if we're admitting to giving them quaaludes, what did you give them quaaludes for if you weren't? Like,
but that's missing the point, though. The point is, and you know what? It is what it is, as far as I'm concerned, with the justice system. Now we're starting to see, because it works both ways. So he got off on a technicality. I hear what you're saying. I hear what they're saying that he did and all of that. But he got off on a procedural technicality. The procedural technicality that he got off on was the former district attorney of whatever municipality he was charged in and convicted in, the former DA, who they made sure to mention that he represented Donald Trump. They made sure to let you know, so that they can, I guess, kind of show that he's a quack, or, that that's what they think of him. To me, that's the only reason why they would have even announced that or mentioned that. Exactly. But he made a promise. He told him, he made a commitment. He made a contract with Bill Cosby saying, if you sit for this deposition, I will not come after you. Regardless of what's found out in the deposition, I will not charge you. That was the deal that the district attorney at that time made with Bill Cosby. So whatever came out during that deposition, and yes, some of that did come out. You're absolutely right. He did admit to some things during that deposition. But at the end of the day, it's just like, we watch Power. It's just like saying, okay, if you testify, person that I know did something too, I won't come after you based on your testimony, or if you admit something that you did during that testimony. It's the same thing. And so that the women that are mad about the overturning of the sentence or charge or whatever, y'all need to be mad at that district attorney. Because what happened was, once that district attorney lost office or whatever, and the new district attorney people came in, they're the ones that decided to reopen the case and go after Bill Cosby. You can't do that if there's already an agreement in place from the last district attorney saying that they wouldn't do that, that they wouldn't go after him. He held up his part of the deal. It was up to the district attorney's office, not just the person who was the district attorney, but the office to hold up their end. Be mad at them.
I'm thank you. I mean, and I'm so there with you. I mean, when Felicia Rashad tweeted today, she tweeted his picture and said, an injustice has been, I don't know the exact tweet, but there was a lot of backlash. People,
and she came back and had her,
and you kind of recanted and said, I didn't mean to be disrespectful to anyone that has, suffered through. But I mean, ultimately what she was saying is, and like we're all saying, justice has to be served. How many police officers got off from these shootings of Black men? So the thing is, if he did it, and let me tell you something, I am not an advocate for Bill Cosby by any stretch of the imagination. If he did it, he deserves whatever he was supposed to get. But all we're saying is it has to be done the right way. Why is justice different for some and not for others? That's the thing. And so, I mean, like I said, these women, if it happened, all these Karens coming and forgive me, coming out of the woodwork. Some of these women had already had NDAs and had already been paid, for whatever went down. So all I'm saying is let justice be served, the right way. You know what I mean? If you're going to do it, if you're going to convict a man, do it the right way. You sending an 80-some-year-old man, hell, if these women was talking about this stuff back from 20 years ago, and maybe they finally got up the nerve to say and, speak their truth, fine. But let's do it the right way, man. That's my opinion on it. I don't really care about Bill Cosby like that. Like I say, a predator needs to be stopped in any form, in any way necessary. But hell, y'all create this law. Y'all create this judicial system. And some Black men getting railroaded. How many are in there that didn't do it? You know what I'm saying?
That's also true. I think I feel like I'm mad at the whole system. I'm mad at the way that this whole case was handled. I'm also mad at a lot of people that were saying that he didn't do it publicly. A lot of people who are of high notoriety status, especially in the Black community, that were saying like he didn't do it. I don't appreciate that at all. But to definitely piggyback off what you said, Felicia Rashad, said, finally, a terrible wrong is being righted, a miscarriage of justice is corrected, which I don't know, it's a little troubling to me because July 1st, 2021, Felicia Rashad will be the Dean of Howard University's College of Fine Arts.
Yes.
That is very problematic for you to sit here and say that when you are
right. But how do you know she was talking about the miscarriage of his conviction? The thing is, you can kind of read that a couple of different ways where everybody has always stated, a couple of YouTubers I follow, they are saying they didn't think he was innocent. They just think the way he was tried was, and so it's problematic for someone who is actually innocent. And if you're if Bill Cosby can be railroaded, then what hope does that leave for just your regular Joe that gets accused? Is it that easy to just say he did it and now your life is in a shambles? So I don't know that she was saying, they say they were calling this miscarriage of justice the way he was convicted. Where was the evidence? Where was the fact that you offered him? Like you said, Stacey, they told him, okay, just tell it, even if we do the civil, then, you don't have to worry about any criminal. So It was a
what they did was they actually ended up using the words that he said in that deposition against him after they said that they wouldn't. And so you can't break a contract like that. That was a contract not with that specific DA, because when you're the district attorney, you are representing the entire office for the municipality. You are not just representing yourself. So when he made that agreement with Mr. Cosby, he made that agreement for the entire municipality or for that entire office. So that means that a predecessor can't come in and say, oh, we don't want to abide by that.
Right.
So again, I say Miss Constant and the other women, y'all are directing your anger at the wrong person.
Right.
You need to direct your anger towards the office of the district attorney for making that agreement. If that's your stance, you know what I'm saying? Right. Period. Because if you were in jail, if you were, sentenced to something that you didn't believe that you did, or that you knew that you did it, whatever.
Right.
If you thought you were, you were in prison for something that you were innocent of, and a technicality came up and you could get off on that technicality, why wouldn't you? Right.
What you gonna close the jail door back and say, nah, who does that? That's what I'm saying. Right. And so, like I said, I'm not canceling Phylicia Rashad for what she said, because like I said, I don't see where she was saying,
for being loyal.
Right. And for saying that it was a miscarriage of justice. The thing is, if it's not constant, the way that the justice system carries out convictions and the trial and all, if it's not a consistent thing, then I could end up in jail over some stupid shit. Somebody can come and say I did something and I end up in jail.
Let me say this. I have been a victim of the criminal justice system. I have been a victim. Right. I have been a part of a situation where somebody blamed me for something that they did.
Thank you.
And none of the evidence pointed to me. All of the evidence pointed to the other people or persons.
Right.
And guess what? I'm a Black woman.
Thank you.
And everybody else involved were men.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what they did? They put it on me.
And kept it moving.
And kept it moving. They didn't give a damn about my education. They didn't give a damn about where
freedom, future. None of that.
None of that. So miss me with the bullshit when it comes to the criminal justice system and fairness. You know what? She got the one lady that was supposed to, to be the major person. She got $3 million.
Thank you.
From Mr. Cosby.
Thank you.
He stayed in jail almost 2.5, 3 years.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know what? He was punished for whatever he did.
Thank you. And he will be suffering for the rest of his life for that. It ain't no more gigs coming. There is no he is canceled in the entertainment community. There is no more gigs and shows and movies and none of that. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he might be able to write a book and try to recoup some of what he's lost over these last 2 years.
That's fair, because I mean, I'm just saying, let's talk about, we talk about history, and we want to talk about these, look at the statues and the monuments of people that are up, and the degrading and just horrible acts that some of these people committed. Man, get out of my face.
That's what I'm saying. Look at all the
he got out on the technical, our procedural
shit.
It is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Because look at all these men out here, these directors out there in Hollywood, even Donald Trump. There are allegations floating around about a lot of these folks, and they none of them served not one damn day in jail. Ain't none of them served one day in jail. Thank you.
We heard this fool on national TV saying,
"Thank you,
grab him by the."
Exactly.
We still let this come to this.
So why everybody on?
But when it comes to this,
that's what I'm saying.
But go ahead, Gen Z. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over. Go ahead. I'm gonna push you.
Nah, go ahead, Zaire. Go ahead.
So Jenny,
she like this.
She like, went on a rant. Because we done seen this stuff so much before.
Do it.
Go ahead, Zaire.
You can go against us, cuz we all right with that.
Yeah.
We're just going to disagree on a lot tonight.
Okay. What's the first thing we're agreeing to disagree on?
Huh?
What's the first thing we're agreeing to disagree on?
Oh, absolutely, with the sexuality fluidity.
Well, no, we're talking about Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, right?
Oh,
yeah, we're talking about Bill Cosby.
Oh, that. We're there.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like the way that the women were treated throughout that were just like not fair. Like, I feel like it was very much, I know you're lying. Like, he never did that. And I feel like it was also like a take this money. You waited too long. It's not, what do you want from me? You waited too long. And I feel like
he still went to jail though. I don't get it.
true.
Listen, again, miss me with that because I'm also a survivor of sexual abuse.
Me too.
So miss me with that.
And mine didn't do no time. Mine didn't do
never,
no time, and I didn't get no damn
thank you.
settlement either.
Thank you. That's it. I'm pushing
Thank
mute.
you. Thank you.
Go ahead, baby girl.
But Janet Hubert, if you guys don't know, that is the first mom on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She tweeted against Felicia and she said, Felicia, what are you thinking? I don't know you, but to say this was terribly wrong. Everyone knew what he was doing back then. How could you not? Get your umbrella, sister. Here comes the shower. I'm outraged that he has been released. And yes, he is an old, guilty man. So a lot of people are not happy. And I just
You said Janet Hubert?
yes.
Okay.
That was the dark skinned mama? That was the first dark skinned mama? Or which one?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah.
While her talent is amazing. Go ahead.
Miss me.
For tomorrow morning for R. Kelly's lawyer to just put something on the judges, something, because you know he waiting.
I mean,
a meme about that. A meme about R. Kelly, and it was like, for real, it was a poll, and it was like, okay, if R. Kelly got released today and he was having a concert in your hometown tomorrow, would you go?
It's gonna be a lot of folks
there.
A
whole lot of people there.
It wouldn't be me, but it would be a lot of folks there.
I don't even listen to his shit.
But like I said, you got to look at the history of that, where they said a lot of them parents were complicit in what was going on back then, and all these people talking about Bill Cosby that everybody been knowing. Then why the hell y'all didn't say nothing then?
Like, why? Like, facts. How do 50 women? Like, I can understand now. My abuser probably abused people in the family.
Exactly.
And so maybe 2 or 3, you know. And so, but I can't imagine you abusing 50 women and they all have the same reaction. Like they all wait 20, 30 years to say something. I doubt that. That's very hard, especially if you've been drugged. Like, okay, so I want to see, again, because we talked about before, I worked at a rape crisis center. So if you feel like you've been, you know, sexually assaulted in any way, you can go to the nearest hospital and you can get a rape kit done, and you can get reported to police and all of that. You mean to tell me 50 women decided against that?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Also, I think that also you have to we have to also take in consideration the way that this man was a monument in culture. You're not taking that into account, because my thing is, if I was in their situation, thank God I'm not, but if I was, I would literally be like, nobody is going to believe me. I don't know what I signed after. I don't know what if I was vulnerable and I needed money for whatever it is that I needed, if my family needed this and I needed that, and they told me, if you say something, you're not going to get the money. If you say something, we're going to hurt your family. Because that's a lot of instances when it comes to R. Kelly. And I'm not trying to compare oranges and apples here, but that's a lot of the stuff that we're not considering. We don't know. Those women probably don't even know if there were other women. They probably thinking they were the only ones, which I don't know. But my thing
all I'm saying is go after all these other ones. You know, go after these other ones with the same vitriol that they went after him. That's all I'm saying, because there's so many victims out here, and it's, you know, just common victims as well as, you know, these people that have been violated by famous people. And so I don't know, like I said, it just kind of hits a bit of a personal note with me, because I have been a victim myself, and there was no justice for me. There was let's not this, let's not that. So like I said, it just seems like, let's not just he was dead wrong. Whatever he did, he was wrong, and it's not right what he did. But come on, man, where's the vitriol for all of these others? You know what I'm saying? For all of the victims that's out here. So, everybody going to be riding this thing for the next, few days. He's probably going to do an interview, and they're going to be trashing Bill Cosby's name for a while. I mean, he's done. He's over. He's done. He is definitely done. But like I said, it's a very emotionally charged topic, and so I know there's a lot of differing opinions, but until you've actually been in this type of situation, you know what I mean. It's tough. It's tough to talk about. But like I said, I don't care. Yeah, he's out, but what the hell is 80-some-year-old ass gonna do to anybody now? He's done. You know what I'm saying? He's done. So all this tweeting and, oh, you shouldn't have said that and all that. No, Felicia Rashad, you're not canceled. You know what I mean? You said what you was feeling. And, we all knew that the way he was prosecuted was just not fair. Because the thing is, like I say, hell, my son, if he gets involved with some female and, with that whole Me Too movement, my son get involved with some female and she says, oh, he assaulted me. There's not going to be a lot of compassion for my black son. Right. In the courtroom. Nobody's going to really dig in. I'm going to have to invest a lot of money just to investigate and find out if he really did. You can put an allegation on somebody as so quick nowadays that you can shatter their whole world, and they can spend years trying to get things back in order. Look at Charlamagne the God. He's got rape allegations on him, and it's a lot of stories out here. It's not just Bill Cosby. And so, like I said, hey, get him. Hey, baby, get him. But make sure when you get him, it's a fair trial. Because if he can't get a damn fair trial, then none of us can. Period. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
That's true, but that's when money also comes involved too. Right. I don't think that they would have given, if the DA at that time of that case would have never said anything like that to anybody else if it wasn't Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. I mean, how R. Kelly probably didn't even get that offer.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I mean, they had the pitchforks out for R. Kelly, and I was all for it too, because it was some really ugly and nasty videos out there. I mean, there was the story about him and Aaliyah and all that stuff. So it's just like I said, these men get themselves into these situations, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. And it sounds like if he did this for real, he had to have some issues too. Because what the hell, a man with that kind of money got to even, why you got to drug a woman? You know what I mean? So I don't get it. I don't get it. So like I say, just make it fair. Let's just keep the justice system fair, because we know that we are always hearing stories about some black man that has just been released after serving 20 years for wrongful conviction. That's my issue with this whole case and anything like it. It's like, can we be sure that things really went down? I understand how you said the women were treated, but where's the evidence, man? Where's the evidence? You talking about? Yeah, go ahead, girl.
Let's look at this. I mean, when we talk about evidence and we talk about black men and women being convicted of crimes that they didn't do, let's look at just prior to DNA confirmation, or the ability to have DNA confirmation, and how much or how many cases were overturned once that technology became available and they were able to do the DNA testing. They were able to exonerate so many people based on but we're talking about so many people that have been in jail for years or prison for years for a crime that the actual evidence proves that they weren't even on the scene. They weren't even there.
Crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my problem. And I don't know, like I was off for line for a minute. I'm sorry, guys. But I don't know if you guys talked about that. For me, that's why I don't believe in the death penalty. I'm sorry. I can't advocate, or I can't, believe in a system or a resolution, I would say, because I guess the death penalty is a resolution, but I can't advocate for a resolution when we can't even guarantee fairness in the criminal justice system.
Exactly.
No.
Right. And I mean,
you know for sure, if you can't guarantee me for sure like that. Number one, I think that's God's calling.
Exactly.
I'm not going to call for somebody's life or death,
Thank
regardless of what you did, because we all do shit that we shouldn't do.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to advocate for a state sanctioned killing, because that's what it is to me.
Right.
If murder is wrong, if we're looking at, because we live below the Bible Belt,
right.
So if we're looking at the Bible, and one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't really decipher between, well, can I kill because somebody did something to me?
Right.
Like, it doesn't.
Right. No, there is no
differentiate.
Exactly.
Right.
It is what it is.
Killing. Right. And so state sanctioned killing is the same as somebody individually going out and murdering. So no, I can't advocate for that. However, I can't even start to even think about it that way until we can guarantee fairness in the criminal justice system.
Thank you.
You can't guarantee me the bare minimum. Kiss my butt. And you want to kill people? Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Let's just go back to Emmett Till. If any white person wants to know why people are so like, okay, if any white person wants to know why some black people are happy that he's out, because we know the history. Emmett Till was beaten to death for a simple allegation of whistling at a white woman.
God bless his mama for showing, having an open casket, for wanting and demanding an open casket, so that everybody from then to now and future generations can see what happened to her son, because he simply whistled at a white woman.
And having her actually recant years later.
Hello.
Thank you. So that's why, like I said, miss me. I could care less that Bill Cosby's out. Honestly, I'm not threatened.
I'm more concerned with how did you? I'm to be honest, when it comes to this, I'm like, so let me get this straight. You got 50 women who didn't tell their story for 10, 15, 20, 30 years.
Right.
That don't know each other.
Right.
But all of them were of the ilk to not say anything when this happened. That is way, like, I don't believe in coincidence. I'm sorry. That's just something I don't believe in.
I don't
believe in orchestration.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I know my brain is like, I know when something seems orchestrated, because that doesn't, in the natural flow and order of things, that doesn't make sense that you got 50 people that decided to take the exact same route. Hell, if I don't know if you guys remember the game, well, Michelle, I don't know, Zaire, but was it Phone Call or phone something? But we used to stand in a circle of, like, let's say 20, 30 kids. I think we were in there. And by the time the conference, by the time whatever was whispered, that one sentence, and we're talking about one sentence, by the time it got to the last person, it was all twisted and turned upside down.
It was a totally different story. And the thing is,
story.
And this, I know our podcast is really kind of dragged out. I'm gonna make my last point, and then you guys can make your last point, which is to say that, let me tell you something. I don't believe no white woman ever been scared to tell on a black man. Like I said, we go back to the Emmett Till situation. History has proven that you don't have, I mean, maybe some powerful white man I can see, but I ain't never known no white woman to be afraid of a powerful, quote unquote, black man. Because all you got to do is tell the story, baby. It doesn't matter what their position in society is. And like I say, I will forever keep mentioning Emmett Till's name, because that woman knew all she had to do was say that what happened. And they beat that boy, a young kid, to death. There was no trial. There was no due process. And that's all I got to say about that.
Zaire, from your generation's perspective?
My generation's perspective, I hope that these ladies get the peace that they need if they are telling the truth. Because the thing is, he went to jail and now he's out. And if a lot of people did know that he was doing these things and you had some type of peace of mind, I don't know what that looks like for you now. All those women that testified, I don't know what that looks like for you, and I don't know what that looks like for your family. especially with a man of that, again, notoriety. So I hope that you guys get the peace that you need and the healing that you need. And yeah.
I mean, again, I hear what you're saying and I understand. And as an advocate for victims of sexual assault, or previous advocate, still advocate, but actively like working for a rape crisis center, like really talking to victims and being there with victims through that walk, I would just say that yes, we stand with victims. Absolutely. As a victim, I stand with victims. But I also understand that sometimes people are wrongfully convicted of things. Sometimes the narrative that is presented by the media can sway a lot of opinions or influence a lot of opinions. And so the story may look one way and be totally different. That's what I understand. I understand, like I said, as a person who has been wrongly convicted of a crime, when all the evidence showed what truly happened, I understand the bias that is inherent in the criminal justice system as well. So it's hard for me to ride for the criminal justice system like that. Like it's hard for me to ride for, like, there has been in this, the first district attorney said there wasn't enough evidence to go forward. If we look back to the Tiny and T.I. situation, Michelle, we talked about that.
Right.
And Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, said that the statute of limitations had run out. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about something that the accusers allege happened in, I think it was like, what, 2010? Mm-hmm. And they're just bringing it forward in 2020. So they said that the statute of limitations had run out for them. Why would the statute of limitations have not run out for these women? Especially if the initial district attorney lacked evidence. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, there are three sides to every story.
Right.
Your side, my side, and the truth.
Thank you.
And both of our sides are somehow entangled in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Both of our sides, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, this man has paid the money. Mm-hmm. He has served some time, which is more than a lot of us abuse victims get. We don't get none of that. Some of us don't get any of that. So let that man go. Let that man be.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, God is the judge. And so if he is guilty of those crimes, please understand that he is not only going to face punishment in this life, he's going to have to face punishment by God.
Right.
Depending on what you believe. You know what I mean? So because of my beliefs, I believe that if he did do it, he's going to face the ultimate punishment, and there's nothing I can do to slow that process down or to hasten it.
Right.
Nor do I have to deal with it because it ain't my shit.
Pretty much.
He got to deal with it. So everybody will get their comeuppance, including him, if this is true. But at this point right now, whatever happened for a reason. He could be innocent, and this could be his reward for being, I don't know.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Right.
Everybody has gotten some type of resolution for this, whether it's the resolution you wanted or not. Everyone has gotten some type of resolution. Move on with your life. As we all should.
We had to move on
as a lot of us have.
We had to move on without the resolution. So
bingo.
Come on now.
That's my end. Go ahead, Zai. End it, boo.
Tonight was interesting.
Wind down Wednesdays always are.
Wind Down Wednesday.
Our Gen Z, our Gen Z, millennial, Gen X mashups are always amazing.
Yeah, giving us that perspective.
Yes.
Of course, guys. All right, guys. So make sure you guys catch up tonight on Encore.
Yes.
On BET. Shout out to Todd Tucker.
Woo, woo. I actually saw that. It is in conjunction with Todd Tucker. He is an executive producer. I did see the beginning credits. So shout out to ATL once again for bringing that fire.
All right now.
Yes, and Carlos.
Candy, pick a good one. Okay, I got it. Go Carlos. Carlos King. I say A. I don't know if it's right though. Go Carlos. Go Carlos. Go ahead, sis.
Speaking of Atlanta, really quick before I end it, let's pray for Greg and Nene. And
yes.
What happened?
He has cancer again.
It came
back.
No. Yes, yes. Whew.
Yes. Yes.
Cover Nene, guys.
Right.
Cover.
They have been going strong and through a lot. So
cover Greg, but also cover Nene, regardless of what you think about her, regardless of her, whatever her character represented on RHOA. The bottom line is this is her husband. This is the man she's been married to for 20 plus years and she shared her life with.
Right.
And she is now she's now in a position where she may lose him. So I need us to cover her. Right. You know what I'm saying? Forget about all the bull crap. Forget about all the whatever.
All the judgment and everything. All that goes out the window. When we talk about doing it for the culture and doing it for, our people, we put that out the window because none of us are perfect. All fall short. We all fall short.
Yes. Yeah. Cover her, cover Greg in prayer. Let's pray for her strength. Let's pray for his strength. Let's pray, for his healing on this side, because now I don't know about you guys, but as I get older, I'm very particular about how I pray. Because I pray for healing. And what we don't understand, we're praying for healing. Sometimes we're praying for healing and we're just praying for healing. It may not always come on this side.
Right.
It can come on the other side. Right. So I'm very specific to now as I get older to say, I pray for healing on this side.
Right.
So I pray for Greg's healing on this side.
Right.
That's it.
And acceptance for God's will, at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Because it's whatever his will is, that whatever she has to endure, that she understands that it's, it's God's will and it all works out for good at the end. Because when I've lost people and when you lose them, you are hurting more for yourself. But sometimes it's a release of, that spirit that needed to be released. And so let's let God's will be done,
I'm going to say Ashe.
Yeah.
Let God's will be done. Ashe. Exactly. That's all I got to say. I love y'all.
Love y'all.
Thank y'all for listening. We appreciate you. Let us know what you feel, what your comments are. If you got something to say, let us know. Right. You want us to talk about something? Let us know. You want our Gen Z or millennial to talk about something on her Wednesday night reports? Let us know. Right. Other than that, love y'all. I'm going to leave it to Zaire to get us out of here.
Love y'all. I'll see y'all on Wednesday.
All right.
Boom.